So guys, this one, instead of buying at auction, is about how to sell at auction. And I'm with Charlie Dore from Strakers Auctions, with a 15-year set of experience, a head auctioneer, brilliant fun in the room, and amazing knowledge about auctions. You need to see all of the series of videos we've done. So Charlie, how do you actually sell property at auction? Because we've talked about buying, we've talked about making money, but let's talk about the process by which a seller comes to you, gets the property ready and sells.
Okay, I mean, it can vary a little bit from seller to seller. And
Yeah.
we have a huge, vast, diverse range of sellers, from housing association councils down to deceased estates, executors,
Yes.
and selling. And whilst the principle is the same for all of them, we may do things slightly differently. So when
Yes.
we're selling garages for a housing association, it's just really just a tick box exercise,
Yes.
getting them into the catalogue, etc.,
Yes.
etc.
A deceased estate? Because that's got to be quite sensitive, hasn't it?
It's very sensitive.
Yeah. And
So
you're very people based anyway.
yeah, and I like to be there from the start to the finish. So the first thing I'd say is get us out to give evaluation,
Yes.
and also whether we think auction is the right way of selling it. And
Yes.
generally, if I don't think auction is the right way, I will say I don't think so.
Yes.
Then you should do it in a
Yes.
different way. But
Yes.
there,
And the good news for you guys is you have a state agency as well, so you
Yes.
can help the seller either which
Yeah.
way. You actually have a broad agenda,
yes, exactly.
which
So
will help the seller.
we're very much it's what is best for you.
Yes.
We'll give you advice, and we'll give you the options. But yeah, I don't believe in just putting something in the auction because you say it and it's
Yes.
not going to work.
Yeah.
For more than one reason. It's your time and money,
Yes.
but also it's my time and money. And if I
Yes.
know at the start it's not going to sell,
Don't
well,
do it.
it's just wasting everybody's time.
Gotcha.
So
So you get them out and you out an evaluation.
get me out on evaluation. What you'll get as well, generally with an auctioneer's valuation, is a very straight and to the point
Yes.
valuation, because as I've just said, there's no point putting it into a room if it's too much money
Yes.
or it's not going to work. So you tend
Yes.
to be very to the point. And generally, the valuations are on the conservative side,
Yes.
because the whole point is to get the interest
Yes.
and then hopefully get more
Yes.
and to get it sold.
I
Because
understand.
we tend to find that we only really deal with clients at auction who actually want to sell.
Yes.
Now, it sounds daft to say that, but if your intention is just to test the market to see what's going to happen, then
Yeah.
probably auction is not for you, mainly because there's a cost element to it. You put it
Yes.
into an auction catalogue, it's costing you anything £500 to £1,000,
Gotcha.
plus then solicitors' fees on top.
Got you.
So it's not something just to test
Yes.
the market
So
with.
you've got to be clear. I'm ready to sell, and the benefit to the seller is what? That it's sold fast and securely.
There's secure, and there's more certainty.
Yes.
Can't sit here and guarantee that we sell 100% of all lots that are
Sure.
offered, but I mean our sales rate is about 80-85%. I think nationally at auction it's about 76% of
Oh, well
what's
done.
what's offered in the room
Yes.
sells, so it's
Yes.
quite good, and some of those then will sell afterwards
Yes.
if they don't, which is far higher than it would be on the normal private treaty
Yes.
market.
So someone that needs to sell for whatever reason, say it was a deceased estate, no,
Yeah.
it's empty, it's good to sell. So you're offering certainty or high level of certainty.
High level of certainty. There's a speed.
Yeah.
An auction, so you do generally 3 to 4 weeks worth of marketing,
Yeah.
and then completion is usually 3 to 4 weeks
There we are.
afterwards. So the whole process start to finish is 2 months.
There we are.
Whereas I think at the moment, speaking to our guys in the offices on the private treaty, just going from offer to completion is averaging about 16 weeks, 4 months.
Wow. And if that's an empty property, that's
Yeah.
a little bit nerve-wracking.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
you're looking close to, from start of marketing through till completion, nearly 6 months, half a year in some
Right.
cases,
So it's kind of 8 weeks versus 26 weeks.
basically. So it's a lot,
Gotcha.
it's a lot quicker.
And
Yeah.
what does the person need to do if they want to come and sell via auction?
They obviously, once we've been out and seen it, given them the advice,
Yeah.
if they decide to go ahead, I would advise, if there's anything they particularly need to do with the property, I'll do
Yeah.
it. But if our stock properties need modernisation,
Yes.
generally I'd say there's no point really doing anything,
Yes.
because are you going to spend £1 to make 2 back? In most cases it's a case of you've got to do everything
Yes.
or nothing. If you do half a job, well, someone's just going to come and do your half job again. So
Yes.
So generally there's very little to do with the property, though sometimes we'll talk about things like presenting it in the sense of it's very overgrown, for instance, and
Yeah.
you've got a big garden but you can't see it,
Yes.
get that chopped down, because
Yes.
that will increase the value.
Yes.
There's things like that. If it's got boarded up windows, try and get the boards off, because
Yes.
it just looks better in the photos, doesn't look so
Yes.
sort of thing. So there are some things, but in general, not doing too much.
Great.
The other thing is then just getting yourself organised in advance, because we have to get all the legal work done prior to the auction night.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things for us is we spend all our time is chasing the solicitors for the legal work, and then we find the client hasn't paid for their search fees or hasn't returned their instruction IDs and things. Just get it all done, get it done as soon as possible, because we only have a short period of time.
Yes.
And we want that legal pack out as soon as possible. We want to have it ideally 2 to 3 weeks before the auction.
Yes.
Just so buyers have got enough chance to look at it, digest it.
Yes.
And make sure they're happy to be able to bid.
Yeah.
Some buyers, if you only get the legal pack out a couple of days or a week before the auction, just go, no, I can't buy.
It's too much for them.
So try and get out. So you just want to be organised, get everything sorted as early as possible.
Gotcha. Any other tips for somebody selling at auction?
Oh, any other tips?
I always think there's a really interesting place for selling plots of land at auction. Would you agree with that? So on the one hand, for somebody with a property they need to sell fast for whatever reason, it's a great place to get certainty, speed, and actually they don't need to do much. Maybe get some lads to chop down the brambles.
Yeah.
So certainty, speed, and limited involvement.
Yeah.
But for other people, I think there's quite an interesting place where if you put a plot of land with planning permission, say the side of a garden, that can be a great place to sell that. Is that something you found?
It is. I mean, we find plots, for instance, they sell well at auction, and why vendors like them at auction is you're not dealing with, and dare I say it, what I call messes. I.e., you've got a building plot, you get an offer, the first thing they do is they go off down to the local council to see if they can tweak it to how they want it, or to find out, at the moment it's a 3-bed detached like this, can we change it, can we do this? If they get the answers they want, that's fine, they carry on in the buy. If they don't, they're either pulling out or renegotiating. What you get with auction is obviously, because it's a done deal, they buy it as it is, or the potential it could be, and then they've got to do it in their own time later on. So you're not having this case of, I've accepted an offer, but 3-4 months later, I still don't know if it's actually going to go through.
Yes.
And all this is happening on your time, it's your money, it's your cost. So we find, building plots is a good one.
Yes.
Where, it just gets it done, it gets it sorted, you can move on.
So if you're selling fast because you have a property for whatever family reason or financial reason, great place. And if you're a property developer, one of the things you can do is put some planning on a land and then sell it at auction.
And sell it at auction.
And that's it can be, if you're splitting land, that's a highly profitable enterprise. I mean, I literally just accepted an offer this week, not at auction actually, sorry Charlie. I spent £1,500 on planning and the offer was 80 grand.
It's worthwhile.
It's okay.
And it is good. And also, because you say the speed, it gives you the certainty. So if you are in quite a high turnover business, when I say high turnover units, if actually it's more suitable for you to have it, make sure it's sold, even if it's a couple of thousand less or something like that, but it means you get onto the next one, you can get onto the next one. It means that you're not messing around for months on end on a private treaty one where you don't know if it's sold, you don't know what's happening. So the certainty, I think, helps.
Yes. Grand. I hope that's useful if you're looking to sell to auction. Go and check out all of our other series on buying, selling, how to prepare, what funding you need at auction. We'll see you soon.